Okay, so I'm going to try and make a tutorial for climb skip and gulp skip. I was just going to do gulp skip, but I figured there's no harm in doing climb skip as well, since it leads into gulp skip, so I'm going to go ahead and make my way over to Breeze Harbour. And the first thing I want to point out is, to the right of Spyro, in the wall, you can see there's a vertical line, and it runs into the grass as well. You can see the line kind of, it's just to the right of Spyro, you can see that. And that's where I'm going to want to jump from. So typically I want to start from here, just this corner, nice and easy, and I want to be not quite parallel with the wall, like kind of facing slightly into it, maybe around here, about what, like 45 degrees maybe. And I'm going to go for a walking double jump. You can get this with a regular double jump, but a walking double jump is far easier. It makes it like so much easier. And obviously I can't slow this down at all, so I'm just gonna do it and then try and explain what I've done afterwards. Okay, so what I did there was I did a walk from this corner to this vertical line, and then at that point I did the double jump. And double jumping is a thing in this game that you can't really just tell people how to get an optimal double jump. You have to really just do it a lot, and you kind of figure out like how to make the most of your jump. And some double jumps are different to others. Like, so for some you want to be really high before you start charging. Others you want to start charging really low. And you just kind of get a feel for it the more you do it. But for this one, you want a really good double jump. You want to optimize it. So, try and do it again. Yeah. So you want to be charging. I think someone looked at it like frame by frame, and it's about a quarter or a third into your jump. You want to start doing the charge. But anyway, and once you've gotten a good double jump, when you're at the peak, right before you're about to start falling down again, you want to glide. And like I said, you want to be kind of facing into the wall, and okay. Yeah. And when you start gliding, like as soon as I press X to start the glide, I start moving into the wall, I turn into it. And at that point, you should kind of slide up this sloped part. You should slide up here, and the bit just below it as well, and you just kind of get pushed up onto this portal. So I could go into it in a bit more depth, I suppose, but that'll do. I don't know how I would explain it any more detailed. So once you're up here, standard double jump to get up on here, and this seems to be the jump that most people have trouble with. Once they're on this part of the arch, they seem to be able to get the rest of it, because it's just a series of double jumps. But this one you have to flop, and so for a flop, when you double jump, you want to let go of square, and Spyro does this falling animation. That's called a flopping. Well, that's the flopping animation, and we call it a flop, because when you're in a flop, if you hold forwards against a ledge, so for example this arch, then you can get pushed upwards by it. And the key to getting a good flop is, well, you want a good double jump because you want good height, and you want to hold X the entire time. So you want to let go of square to go into the flopping animation, but you want to keep X pressed because you want to still gain as much height as you can. So you want to walk up to the edge of this wall here, and then you want to kind of follow this curve of the little tower, and then when you're at the arch there, that's when you want to flop. So hopefully I can get this first try. Yeah. And the key to this is, first of all, getting a good double jump, but like I said, that's just something you have to practice over time. And the other thing is that once you are flopping, well, in fact, just before I let go of square, so before I go into the flop animation, I hold up on the D-pad so that I'm ready to push Spyro onto the ledge, onto the arch. Yeah. So again, I don't know how I could go into any more depth about that. You just kind of have to practice double jumping and flops. But that's the method you want to go about doing it. And then from here, it's just a case of double jumping onto this part of the roof, double jump onto this arch, double jump on this roof, and then you want to glide across onto this roof. And once you're here, you need to do another flop to get over here. And again, it's just getting a good double jump and flopping over the top. Exactly the same as getting onto that first arch. You want to get a good double jump, let go of square so you start flopping, and hold forwards so that you can push Spyro over the edge, get that last little bit of height that you need. So I'm going to get zapped by Zoe just in case I fail gulp skip, but hopefully that doesn't happen. I get it pretty consistently. So at this point, you want to head into this back corner so that you avoid the whirlwind, because you don't want to get pushed back up there. And then you want to approach the edge here, and before you get too close to the edge, you want to start pushing Spyro up against this wall. So you want to be nearly perpendicular with it, but you want to be slightly right, because you want to get right to the very edge. So I'm going to tap forwards against the wall until Spyro is kind of in a decent position. So you can see I'm getting really close to the edge here, and I don't want to push Spyro out the wall, so I'm going to turn the camera a little bit, and I'm going to gradually get more and more perpendicular to the wall as I approach the edge. And what I'm aiming for is the little orange spines on Spyro's head, if you can see those. I want those to be level with the edge of this wall. That's what I'm aiming for. So each time his spines go past it, so you can see his spines are like on the right of the wall now, I want to turn left, and I want to try and get that perpendicular. And this is what I'm aiming for, so I'm going to keep doing that until his shadow drops, like this. The shadow dropping, I don't know why it works, but once I get the shadow to drop, gulp skip is pretty much confirmed, for me at least. So now the shadow's dropped, I'm going to turn left, so I'm facing into the wall slightly, or the corridor. I'm going to jump and glide, that's it, jump and glide. And then at this point, I want to turn the camera so it's back into the wall, or into the corridor. But it's stuck outside at the minute, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to tap forwards, and that allows me to get the camera back inside. That's something I can't really explain properly, it's just something I've learned after doing gulp skip for so long. You kind of learn how to manipulate the camera. But now that the camera's back inside, I'm going to hold L1 or L2, whichever one you prefer, so that the camera is up against this wall. But not too much, because otherwise it starts doing this. It just gets closer to Spyro, and that's really bad. So I want to hold L2, or L1 rather, until it bumps the wall. And once it bumps the wall, I'm going to start tapping left. So I can't really slow this down, because I've got to start tapping left as soon as the camera hits the wall. So I'm just going to hold L1 and keep tapping left gently. So I want to wait for Spyro's feet to stop moving. Well, not stop moving, but no. I don't want to keep tapping left really fast. And I'm going to keep doing that until he clips into the wall like this. And at this point, so you can see there's like one section of wall that's between the breakable bit and the stairs. There's the vertical line that's right in front of Spyro's mouth, and then there's the other vertical bit which is at the top of the stairs. I want to get between these, so I do this in one single jump. In fact, I'll set a save state here just so I can show off multiple things to do here. So what I do, I just do it in one single jump, so I'm going to do it and then I'll explain it afterwards. Nice, I failed it. Let's try again. There we go. So what I did there was I jumped and turned so that I was about this angle in the wall, and on the way down from the jump, so I waited for Spyro to get to the top of the jump, and then as he was falling down, I held up on the D-pad and I did a charge glide, which is just square then X. And at that point, Spyro is doing a charge glide as he's falling down, and for whatever reason, as soon as he touches the floor, he just pops right out of bounds. So just to reiterate what I did, I jumped so that I was kind of at this angle here, except in the air, and as I was falling down, I held up on the D-pad and did a charge glide, which is just square and X. And once I started holding up, I didn't let go. I held it right up until I came out the wall. So I'll go for it again, just so I can show you. Like that. And I let go of up once I've fallen out the wall. Once I'm out of bounds, then I let go of holding up. And at that point, it's just a case of pressing X to catch the glide and going right into the loading zone. Like that. But if you want to take your time with it, then you can do a jump and hold up until you're at this kind of angle. It's not entirely precise. You don't want to be parallel with the wall, because then you'll just kind of, I don't know, you won't be facing the right direction at all. And you don't want to be completely perpendicular, because otherwise you would get pushed, well, you could get flopped like that, or you'll just get pushed right out the wall. So you want to be at a slight angle. Oh, I didn't even mean to do the I didn't mean to go out of bounds there. Yeah, so just jump and hold up. And you also need to only hold up, or any direction, while you're in the air. If you're stood in the wall like this, and you turn, you'll just get popped right out. You don't want that to happen at all. So, you can only move while you're in the air. That's why you have to jump. So, yeah, so if you want to take your time with it, then you do one jump, and turn so that you're at this kind of angle here. And then once you're happy with this, then you jump up, and then on the way back down, so once you've peaked and you're falling down again, hold up on the D-pad and do a charge glide. And then you keep up pressed, and as soon as Spyro hits the ground, he should just pop right out, like this. And then you catch the glide and into the loading zone. So, I didn't really put too much thought or effort into this, but no, I think this is a more comprehensive gulp skip guide than I've seen before, so hopefully this helps people. I want to try and make more tutorials for this game. I've just been lazy about it, but yeah. Hopefully this was useful.